Hi everyone, Chris here, the concept creator and lead developer for Elemental Force of Nature. I'm excited to announce that our Kickstarter is going to launch on November 16th, 2020. And I wanted to share with you, our followers and subscribers first, that the first 50 people to sign up for their copy will get 20% off. I'm joined today by two members of the Elemental team, Kamari and Julia, and we're going to show you the basics of how to play Elemental. Before we go through the game, let's make sure everyone understands the cards. When looking at a card for Elemental, up top you'll see the name of the card. For example, this card is Heat Lightning. On the left-hand side, you'll see the crush elements. Think of these as the elements that this particular card is strong against and what it can be played on top of. On the right-hand side, you'll see the attribute elements. Think of these as the elements that make up the card. These also represent your vulnerabilities. For example, a card that has a crush element of fire could be played on top of this card. Down at the bottom, you'll also see whether or not the card has an effect. For example, this is a basic card with no effect. Whereas Frost is a card that has a play effect. In order to use its effect, you need to play this card on top of the play area. Finally, Woodwall, for example, has a discard effect. In order to use this effect, you need to discard the card as part of your turn. Next, let's go over how to set up a game of Elemental. The person who owns the game, or the player who won the last round, shuffles the deck, deals each player 7 cards, and then flips over the top card to start the round. The left-hand side of the deck is the play area, and the right-hand side of the deck is the discard area. Elemental is a game that's played in a series of rounds. Each game lasts at least 3 rounds, but players can agree to play more rounds. You win a round when no other players can play a card, or if your card is still on top of the play area on your next turn. Essentially, you are winning a round until someone else plays on top of your card. Each time you win a round, you take 1 victory point and 1 element token that you get to choose. The player with the most victory points at the end of the agreed upon number of rounds wins the game. That's how you win. Now let's go over how you play the game. The player who shuffled and dealt plays first. Each turn you must either play on top of the play area or discard a card. You can play a card if at least one of its crush elements on the left side of the card matches at least one of the attribute elements on the right side of the card on top of the play area. If you can't play, you must discard. Keep in mind that any card can be discarded, but if you discard 2 turns in a row, you forfeit the round. Finally, let's go over the element token system. You'll get element tokens as a normal part of play by using discard effects and winning rounds. Once you choose which token to take, keep it face down in front of you. When you play a card, you can spend elemental tokens to add that crush element to a card with 4 or less crush elements. You can also use element tokens to remove an attribute from a card with at least 2 attribute elements. You can also use element tokens to swap natural phenomena cards. On your turn, discard a card and pay any 2 element tokens to draw a new card. You can then play that card immediately or end your turn. And that's it. That's how you play Elemental Force of Nature. Match the symbols on the cards to figure out which cards you can play. Use tokens and card effects to make sure your opponents can't play on top of your card, and be the last Elemental standing. Thanks for watching our how-to video, and remember to back our Kickstarter starting November 16th, 2020. Thanks for watching.